Good evening. Welcome to tonight's live stream. My name is meteorologist Joseph Pisani. Joining me tonight is also meteorologist Stephen Jones here at EWV. Stephen, great to have you on the call with us tonight. We've got some active weather that's going to be coming up here this weekend into the first part of next week. So we've got a couple different things we're going to be talking about this evening, guys. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream. Be sure to share this video, post it out on your social media, give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Great to have you guys here on the live stream with us. We've got severe weather that's going to be returning tomorrow. We're going to take a look at that, and we're also going to be taking a look at what we're expecting because we're going to have a major pattern flip over the weekend. We're going to go from severe weather and highs in the 70s tomorrow to our first real Arctic air outbreak that's going to be taking place the beginning of next week, especially Monday into Tuesday. So we have quite a live stream for you. So let's kind of take a look right now here. This is the current radar picture that you can see. I mean, pretty quiet across much of the U.S. And we've had a storm system moving out, and so not a whole lot really to be said for much of the southeast U.S. Up here, we do have this storm system. This is that first Clipper system there, Stephen, that we were looking at here, kind of coming across Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, Michigan. And then we also have a lot of wet weather out here across parts of the west into Washington and Oregon, Northern California, with that atmospheric river that we've seen, a lot of moisture and precipitation coming in to these areas. But the weather here across the southeast is going to change. Stephen, tell us a little bit about what we're expecting tomorrow with our slight risk area that we have for tomorrow. We have.
There's a slight risk going from Middle Tennessee up into Kentucky. The main threats look to be wind and hail. There is a 2% tornado risk. And then there is a marginal risk that extends down into Mississippi and Alabama and those areas as well.
Yeah, so I mean, this is that 2% risk that you're highlighting, which is pretty, the slight risk is obviously, in all honesty, it's more for the hail threat that we're expecting, because when we look at the hail threat, it kind of correlates right there with the 15% risk area that we have there. And this includes, some pretty populated places, really from Nashville, South Central Tennessee, all the way up through Bowling Green, even up toward just kind of southwest of Lexington. So a good hail threat here for tomorrow. Wind threat pretty, decent as well, all the way up here into southern Ohio. So we're going to be seeing a pretty decent storm system here that's going to be moving through tomorrow. Let's kind of take a look here at some of our latest models. We'll go ahead and take a look here at our NAM model so you can kind of get an idea of what we're going to be looking at here across these areas. So this kind of takes it forward in time. So we'll really start to see some of this scattered convection here develop. Sorry about that. Really start to see some of this convection develop later in the day tomorrow, probably early afternoon, kind of here on the west side. This is kind of where we're expecting some of those stronger storms to be potentially, kind of on the west side of Nashville, up toward, Bowling Green, Elizabethtown, those areas. That's where some of our stronger storms could be. We could also be potentially seeing, a few isolated storms kind of out ahead of it. I think some of those more isolated cells, Stephen, could be what we're looking at as far as potentially seeing some, possibly, any potential tornadic activity. Could also see maybe a quick spin up QLCS type storm as well. What are you thinking?
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Probably early evening, may see some discrete supercells out ahead of that line. The dew points will be nice in the 60s, so there'll be a lot of moisture. So yeah,
Yeah, so great
and
point that
two
you bring
and
up there. Yeah, so we can see here all these blue temperatures here. I mean, we're talking dew points, yeah, in the 60s, 62, 60, well up here, even up toward southern Indiana. So I mean, there's going to definitely be a good bit of moisture out there as we look into tomorrow. I mean, even down here, down near Mobile, we're talking, believe it or not, dew points up near 70, close to the coast there. So, but all this warm, moist, humid air, it is not going to last very long, is it?
yeah, go from talking about severe weather to winter weather the next few days.
Yeah, so that kind of is that system. Let's flip over here. We'll go back to our GFS forecast, and obviously when we have severe weather, we're needing the moisture, we're needing the warm, humid air, but all of that will be going away over the weekend. We're going to have this very powerful front move through that's going to be bringing our severe weather. And then look kind of what happens behind it. Look at that, all that dry air. I mean, we're talking all the way down to Miami, Florida. All the moisture pushed off the coast. And, I mean, just completely dry, stable air here across polar Arctic air across these areas. And let's take a look at these temperature forecasts. I mean, so this here is Tuesday morning. Okay, and we're talking temperatures for a huge area in the 20s. Some places going to be up closer to possibly in the teens. Wind chills could be, even in the teens as far south as parts of northern Georgia and northern Alabama. There's going to be likely some snow up in portions of eastern Tennessee, even up into the Smoky Mountains, and plenty of snow coming in as well across portions of of the Northeast and Great Lakes region.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Joe. Was the Great Lakes region's probably gonna get some lake effect snow out of that?
Yeah, so I mean, we really are going to have a whole system come through here. We're going to have the severe weather, and then we're going to have this snow kind of come through here as we get into this. Is going to be some of that snow system there that we'll see. Let me actually flip over here. I'll flip this back over to pivotal weather for you guys and just kind of show you what we're looking at here as far as this system that's going to be coming in here from the mid-Atlantic upper Midwest here. So let's put this into motion here for you guys. So here's that system that we have right now that we were just looking at on the radar earlier, bringing that rain to parts of Wisconsin. It does have some snow on the back side of this. So Dakotas, northern Minnesota, you're going to see some snow kind of move through overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, here's those storms. Again, they are going to be isolated across Kentucky into Tennessee, parts of Alabama. It's not going to be a widespread severe weather event, just a marginal severe weather event. Then once that moisture bumps up against the mountains, we'll see it kind of ring out. And then here is our second playmaker out here just north of Montana on Saturday, Friday night, overnight into Saturday. And this system is what's going to be the one that's going to bring more of the lake effect snow to us as we get into the first part of next week. So that kind of gives you an idea really of getting through this weekend, what we're looking at here with the first system. And then now let's kind of get a longer view look at system number 2. So let's take a look here. We'll look at our GFS forecast for this. So here's system number 1, low pressure system 1. Rain comes through and then coming here through the Central Plains. And we have this low pressure system and then a second low pressure system that kind of develops here right over Illinois. And that will quickly skirt up to the northeast, bring that really big trough that's going to be coming down right through the heartland of the U.S. And that will move north, and that's where we'll see some of these lake effect snow bands set up, some of this intermountain snow across portions of West Virginia over into Virginia, eastern Kentucky, even down into the Smokies. We're going to be possibly and likely seeing at least a little bit of snow, maybe not a ton. But a good bit up in those regions. But regardless, all the way down to, like I said, the Gulf Coast, we're going to be having some brutal cold temperatures that are going to be coming in here as we get into the beginning of next week. So you can see, I mean, we're talking 30s pretty much all the way down here to Mobile, Alabama. As we get into Tuesday morning. And 20s for much of the interior Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, through the spine of the Appalachians. Some places could even be in the teens. In the higher elevations, that's definitely not out of the question. So again, it is going to be it's going to be a good system that we're going to see here. Let's kind of break it down by region. I do want to take a look at some of these expected snowfall totals potentially that we could be seeing in the beginning of next week. We're getting into that time frame where we can at least start getting a general idea of what we could see across some of these areas as we go into next week. So we can see here on Sunday, good bit here across portions of central Michigan. And then we'll see some of this lake effect snow really kind of kick in as we go into Monday. But, I mean, a good, decent little bit of snow. Sorry about that. Through a good portion of the Northeast. Portions of the higher elevations in the Appalachians are going to get, a decent bit of snow as well. And then let's change our region. Let's come down here into the Ohio Valley. Kind of take a look at this. So this is kind of what I was talking about here. You can see right here at the spine of the Appalachians, Great Smoky Mountains. Some of these places could see 3-4 inches of snow. Definitely not out of the question. We're not expecting snow, this far south. There's going to be so cold and dry that even if there was anything, it would evaporate before it would even reach the ground or flurry or anything like that. So I'm not expecting any snowfall for the southeast. Just going to be really that cold air that we're going to be seeing across a good portion of the deep south. I mean, we were talking, we were in the 70s today. We were up about 74 degrees. And then as we go forward in time, I mean, tomorrow, again, going to be another beautiful day tomorrow in the 70s. And then as we get into Saturday, will probably be our last potential day here in a lot of places here in the South where you're going to see those 70-degree temperatures. Because once this Arctic front comes in, you can really start seeing it shaping up here by Sunday, that system really coming together and pushing all this cold air, just driving it south. So this is, I believe this is Monday morning. Yeah, so this is Monday morning, which isn't going to be the coldest day. It's going to be cold, but Tuesday morning is really where we're going to be seeing those 20s, even down here in Georgia, even down into parts of central Georgia. 29 degrees. This is going to be a hard freeze, first hard freeze of the season. So make sure that you are well prepared for this. We're letting you guys know about this ahead of time, so you can make sure that this weekend, when you're getting things ready and stuff like that, okay, by Monday we're going to be having temperatures in the 20s here in the deep south across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, even Tennessee, all of those places going to be experiencing that deep freeze Monday into Tuesday. And then by Wednesday afternoon, things will start warming up. We'll get back to more seasonal highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. So that is going to be some good news. Meanwhile, Stephen, how are things out there in the Southern Plains there out in Oklahoma?
Well, we got up to 80 today.
80, you guys got even warmer than we did here.
Yep. One thing I did want to point out, Joe, is Sunday, as that front is moving through, there are going to be some high wind gusts, and they're talking like 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gust coming through as that front pushes through. So that's something else to keep in mind on Sunday.
Yeah, it is going to be a powerful storm system. So, and especially with the dry, like we were talking about earlier, with the dew points that are going to be coming in here, it is going to be so dry. So high fire danger conditions going to be in effect this weekend into early. I mean, we're talking single-digit dew points out here in Oklahoma, where you guys are at 9-10 degree dew points. And then that
right now. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's take a look at so there's that wind forecast that you're talking about here, where we're talking 25, 30 mile per hour winds, especially across portions of the Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma. And then that will kind of move through here into Sunday. We still see those really strong northerly winds here coming through Oklahoma and Texas on Sunday. Winds kind of die down, so you get a little bit of a lull on Monday, maybe a brief surge again. But the winds shift direction by Tuesday. You're going to start seeing that warm up like we were talking about out there on Tuesday. That return of that southern air. So it's going to be a quick cold snap. I will say that this isn't a long duration cold snap, but it is going to be 2 days really where it is going to feel like winter. It is definitely going to feel like winter came early here in the middle of fall. So what else are your thoughts on this whole weather pattern setup for the next couple days, Stephen?
I mean, like you said, it's just going to be cold. It's going to be the first big freeze of the season, so it's going to be a shock to some people.
Yeah, because a lot of people aren't quite used to having maybe this cold this early. A lot of us, especially here in the South, we don't really think of 20s, getting temperatures in the 20s in November. Usually that's not until January. It'll get cold, but we're not talking 20s until usually end of December, beginning of January. So this is really early in the season for us to be getting this cold this early. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting winter season. I think we're going to have a lot of roller coaster weather where we're going to be warm, cold, severe weather, winter storms, everything going on, back to back at the same time. So,
yeah. And don't discount severe weather during the winter because it can still happen. So yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to say earlier, don't discount that 2% tornado risk. That's statistically tornadoes are uncommon, so that's 2% chance of a tornado hitting within 25 miles of one area. So don't discount that.
yes, exactly. Um, but you can see here again, just I think this is, by next Friday, you know, we're talking, temperatures well back into the 80s, 70s. I mean, all the way up here into the Dakotas. So any snow that does fall up here in the Great Lakes and Northeast, it's not going to stay on the ground for very long at all. So that is the good news is we are looking at a pretty overall. I think November is going to be pretty warm and pretty mild for us. I think even though we're getting this cold snap, I think at least in the long term, um, I'm not seeing any like signals that there's another big cold snap, at least for a while. Um,
Yeah, no, I
maybe
think
toward
temperatures are probably going to.
maybe toward the end of the month, we'll have to see here at the end of the month, maybe a big trough setting up across the west, ridge here in the east potentially, and see if that trough kind of slides off to the east and brings another shot of cold air toward the end of November. But that's still weeks away. But um, overall, I think really this will be our first big cold snap that we're looking at. And possibly again, that tomorrow could be the start of the fall severe weather season, especially across Dixie Alley. Really, our peak season is November through February here in Dixie Alley, Gulf Coast region, even into Florida, with a La Nina setup that we have now. That can be a big severe weather season. So we'll have to see how tomorrow pans out here across these regions. Again, I think it's going to be scattered, but definitely can't rule out that isolated tornado threat.
Yep. I was just going to say, Joe, I think on average, I think the temperatures are going to be a little bit above normal this month.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Um, like I was saying, so this is the above average temperature forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. So this is for week 2. So you can see, a decent portion here. We're looking at, a 50% probability of being above average here in the lighter yellow. And then we're looking at a 65% probability of above average temperatures there across much of the deep south. And then as we go into week 3, not seeing any data come in yet for that specifically. But here's the 6 to 10 day. So again, that cold snap's going to come through and we are going to warm right back up, especially across the west and into the plains. And then as we go into the 8 to 14 day, that heat is going to spread further to the east. We'll see a little bit of milder weather across the west coast. And then as we get into week 3 and 4, again, overall, still staying warm. So, Stephen, I think you're right on the money there. I think the majority, once we get past this cold snap, the rest of November should be either more normal to slightly above normal temperatures for the eastern 2/3 of the country.
Yep. Yep.
Well, thank you, Stephen, for joining me tonight on our live stream discussing tomorrow's severe weather and the upcoming major cold Arctic air outbreak. Guys, we'll be back with more live streams, so be sure to stay connected with us here at Extreme Weather Videos. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel if you haven't already done that. Click that subscribe button and connect with us on our Facebook page. we'll be back with more live streams. I'm sure Rob will probably be doing some coverage tomorrow of the severe weather, and then we'll definitely be covering Monday and Tuesday with the cold Arctic air outbreak, tracking the snow across the Northeast, tracking those freezing temperatures. But yeah, make sure you guys have plans this weekend. Bring those plants inside. When that Arctic air is here, have a place for your pets to go. Protect those pipes. Make sure those are insulated, because it's going to get dangerously cold for a lot of people here for a few days. But we'll be tracking here with you guys from Extreme Weather Videos. Till our next live stream, I'm meteorologist Joseph Pisani saying thank you so much for joining us this evening. Be sure to tune in. Connect with us also on Discord. Look us up, Extreme Weather Videos. We'd love to have you join the conversation with us and get connected. So we'll catch you guys on the next live video.